All right, welcome. Today, we're breaking down what might be the biggest shift in tech and, honestly, in your career for a long time: Agentic AI. We're going to unpack what it is, why it's about to create this huge economic wave, and, yeah, what it takes for you to get in on the action.
Okay, so let's just dive right in. And I want to start with the most important part, the opportunity. Because look, this isn't just another cool piece of tech. We're talking about a major economic event that's happening right now. Just look at this number, $52 billion. That's what they're projecting the market for agentic AI will be by 2030. And let's be clear, that isn't just slow and steady growth. That is a brand new market being born literally right in front of us. But what's really staggering, what's kind of mind-blowing, is the speed. We're talking about a nearly six-fold expansion in just 5 years. That's not just growth, that is a full-on gold rush. And what happens in a gold rush? It creates this massive vacuum for talent and new ideas, which means opportunities are popping up way faster than people can even fill them. And of course, that explosive growth means an absolutely insane demand for talent. I mean, the supply of people who know how to do this stuff is just nowhere near the demand. And that's exactly why you're seeing these specialized roles command such premium salaries, both in the US and in major hubs like India.
And don't think this is some pie-in-the-sky prediction for 10 years from now. Gartner, one of the biggest names in tech research, they're saying this is happening right now. I mean, just think about that for a second. By 2026, so just around the corner, almost half of the enterprise apps we all use every day are going to have these AI agents baked right in.
So what is this stuff? What is this technology that's driving all this hype and all this money? Well, it's really important to get that we're talking about a huge leap forward, way beyond the chatbots and image generators we've all been playing with. Okay, so here's the absolute key takeaway. Agentic AI doesn't just talk, it does. It's an autonomous system. It can look at a goal, map out the steps to get there, and then, and this is the magic part, it actually executes those steps in the real world to make it happen. So that's the big question, right? How is this actually different from the AI we already know? I mean, we've got AI that's great at pattern recognition, we've got AI that can write amazing text. So what makes this new wave so special? Let's break it down. And this table just lays it out so clearly. It really shows the evolution. Traditional AI, its job is to predict. Then you've got generative AI, its job is to create. But agentic AI, its job is to act. It's the leap from being a reactive tool that waits for your command to a self-directed system that can run a whole complex task from start to finish. Okay, let's make this super concrete with a real-world example. Imagine a supply chain problem, right? A shipment is delayed. Generative AI, well, it could write a perfect email explaining the issue and suggesting a few solutions. Pretty useful. But agentic AI, it actually goes and fixes the problem. It finds the delay. It reroutes the shipment with a new carrier. It automatically notifies all the stakeholders, and it updates the inventory system, all without a human lifting a finger. And this is where you see its real power. It's not just doing one simple thing. It's orchestrating a whole sequence of complex tasks across totally different systems. It's making decisions on the fly. And this is the crucial part. It's doing it all by itself. It only loops in a human when it absolutely has to. Okay, so now that we know what it is, let's talk about the impact. Let's see how this is actually playing out in the real world. Because this isn't just some lab experiment. AI agents are already out there, and they are completely remaking how major industries get work done. Take financial services, for instance. You've got agents working around the clock, and they're not just flagging suspicious transactions, they're actively preventing fraud before it even happens. They're automating all those tedious KYC compliance checks. They're even handling the entire multi-step process of underwriting loans. I mean, Moody's used this tech and cut the time they spent on research tasks by 30%. That's huge. Or how about healthcare? Here, we're talking about agents that can continuously monitor a patient's vitals and instantly alert a nurse if something's wrong. They can manage a hospital's entire resource schedule on the fly, optimizing operating rooms and staff. They can even help speed up drug discovery, which is just incredible. And of course, there's supply chain and logistics, the backbone of how we get everything. Giants like DHL and Amazon are already using agents to keep the world moving. These agents are predicting what you're going to buy so they can reorder it ahead of time. They're rerouting trucks in real time to avoid traffic jams.
and they're coordinating armies of robots in those massive fulfillment centers.
So when you see that kind of impact, it's pretty obvious why the demand for people who can actually build these things is just skyrocketing. So the question is, what does it take? What does it take to become one of the architects of this new agentic world? Well, it all starts with the foundation, right? The core technical skills. Think of this as your toolkit. You absolutely need to be a master of Python. You have to get a deep, intuitive feel for how large language models and transformers actually work, and then you need expertise in the specific agentic frameworks, things like LangChain or Crew AI, which are basically the modern assembly lines for building these agents. Okay, so once you have that foundation, you layer on the structure. This is all your machine learning and data skills. If the technical skills are your tools, this is what makes the agent smart. It's what allows the system to learn from data, to adapt, and to make intelligent decisions, instead of just blindly following a script. But here's the thing, and this is so important. What separates a good developer from a true architect, a real authority in the space, is the peak of the pyramid, the strategic skills. This is about more than just code. It's about truly understanding the business problem you're trying to solve. It's about building systems that people can trust, that are explainable, that are ethical. And it's about having that deep domain expertise, whether it's in finance or healthcare or whatever. Okay, so if you're sitting there thinking, I'm ready, I want to build these skills, where do you even start? I know, it can seem like a lot, but the good news is you can break it down into a really clear, structured roadmap. Look, this whole journey builds on itself. You got to start with the absolute fundamentals, nailing Python and core AI concepts. From there, you get your hands dirty, you start building real projects with LLMs and frameworks. Then you level up to designing more complex agent patterns. And finally, you get to the really fun part, deploying these things into production and specializing in an area that you're passionate about. So the big takeaway here is this. The agentic era isn't on the horizon. It's here, right now. And that means the window of opportunity is wide open. We're in one of those rare moments in tech where the demand for talent is just exploding, way faster than the supply. So really, the only question left is, what are you going to do about it?